What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today I'm going to be showcasing some Tentacruel gameplay in the Go Battle League. Tentacruel recently got access to Payback as one of the best coverage moves you could really ask for on a Pokemon like this, and in a meta like the Spring Cup where Jellicent is everywhere, having this Dark-type coverage is huge. I'm going to pair it up with Tinkaton, which recently got buffed with Gigaton Hammer, as well as Hisuian Samurott, which the other day I had so much fun using. It's such a good Pokemon, you should give it a go if you have one. But this team looks pretty fun. I'm excited to see what it can do. Real quick though, before we get into the battles, I want to ask if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. It helps out quite a bit, and I'd really appreciate it. But let's get into the battles and see what this team can do. We'll see Tentacruel into Seeking. Okay, you know, we are a little bit soft to Seeking here with this team, but honestly, not in like a way that we don't have play, right? I'm going to stay in and see if we can get a shield advantage here. Drill Run will hurt quite a bit, but the best thing about it is I don't need to shield, and they likely do need to shield if they want to try to survive a payback. They might even try to go for like an Icy Wind bait, which would be a little bit crazy in my opinion. Which we'll go for the payback now, and we'll see what they want to throw. Maybe they go for an Icy Wind when I swap out into my Samurott, or maybe they're just going to go and swap out themselves. They do shield, and they'll get a move off right about now, but that's fine, because even if they do debuff us, we can dance around a little bit here, and Sacred Sword should still be enough damage to knock them out after the Fury Cutters in just a second, and if they don't debuff us especially, then that doesn't even matter. Okay, Tinkaton comes in. Not exactly the best Pokemon for us to see, but honestly, it is still pretty playable. I need to go for some Sacred Swords here. I think about 3 of them should be enough to knock out over time. Fairy Wind is super effective, but Gigaton Hammer is resisted, so it doesn't do all that much damage to us. Although it probably would knock us out from here with the Fairy Wind damage adding up. But the big question is going to be, do they go for Gigaton Hammer, or do they bulldoze us? Because either way, I could see it being like not a terrible play for them to do, you know, one or the other. I'm going to shield this, so I think they're going to go for the big move, but maybe they go for the bait here. They do Gigaton, that's really good. Because I feel like saving my Samurott could be a pretty good play, too. Samurott's going to be a pretty strong Pokemon, just neutrally in this format, right? So if I can save it, I think that's going to be the play. Yeah. And we'll try to catch a Bulldoze here, too. The way they're playing this game, it seems like Samurott does have some play. So I'm going to keep it around. Bulldoze will knock us out, alright. And now comes the coin flip of who should I bring in here. I think Tinkaton's probably my better option, just because I can Bulldoze them and knock them out. So that's what I'm going to go for. But I'm going to overfarm a little bit here, so I can try to outpace the Seeking, potentially. We go for the Bulldoze, and we do win CMP. But that Seeking is still around. They can likely get a Drill Run off against my Tinkaton. But the problem for them is they can maybe do that, but they're not going to be able to knock us out with it, right? So then I can build up energy, maybe Gigaton Hammer plus whatever my Samurott can do to win this. And maybe there's still a good chance that we can win this game. Drill Run will hurt. But, again, we still have a lot of play left this game. I don't think that I can Bulldoze this, unfortunately. We Gigaton Hammer an Amoonguss. Okay, well, that's pretty good. I'm happy that we're throwing this into the Amoonguss and not something else. Okay. And what I'm going to try to do here is I would love to get, like, a perfect undercharge, but I don't even know if that's going to be the perfect undercharge. No, it's not. Actually, I might be in a little bit of trouble. I'm not in any trouble. I was going to try to go for some energy on my Samurott to outpace the Seeking, but luckily, we banked just enough energy to still outpace. We can go for the Sacred Sword. We knock out the Seeking. Okay, see, that's a little bit of an annoying lead, but not terrible, right? Our team's flexible. It can dance around that. All right, next opponent. We'll see Tentacruel, rather, into Electrode. You know, my team's a little bit soft to Electric-type damage, but luckily this is an Electric-type that's not necessarily great into Poison-type damage, so I can stay in here, and I can just go for a lot of chip damage. Interesting, they haven't thrown just yet. I'm going to go for the Scald because, I mean, it could be a payback, right? It could just knock him out, but likely they go for a shield here either way. Yeah, they do shield. And I think the play is going to be shield once, maybe no shield the second move and try to go for a Fury Cutter down. They do Wild Charge, so down goes their defense stat. And yeah, I think, honestly, force out a second Wild Charge, Fury Cutter down. They might reach a Swift against my Samurott, but I honestly don't know if they could. Alright, do they give us the farm down or not? They come in Klefki of all things, actually. I mean, the thing is, I resist a lot of the damage they can throw here. I don't know what their moveset is, which could be a little bit scary if they're on Play Rough, But like Flash Cannon as well as Foul Play don't do that much damage. 6. That could be a play rough. I'm going to shield this up just to make sure that I don't get one shot here, because Samurott could still have a lot of play right now. Yeah, play rough. We don't want to have to just get one shot there if we can help it. But that also means here that we wall them with our Tinkaton, right? So if they ever shield, I can just go into my Tinkaton and start putting in a lot of work there too. Okay, we'll go for a catch here. Play rough is going to hurt a little bit, but I think at this point, saving the energy on Samurott, going for a farm down here is going to be nice. Oh, they foul play us too, so they waste a little bit of energy there. And they bring in a Togekiss. Interesting. I don't love this necessarily. I am in range where I believe I get 2-shot by Aura Spheres after that foul play damage. But I'm going to do a little bit of a risky play here. I'm going to go for a Bulldoze Bait, because this does 2 things. 1, it is a little bit cheaper, so it forces energy out of them sooner. And 2, if I get a debuff, I'm in a massive... They no-shield that. Okay, well that's really bad. I was not expecting the no-shield, if I'm being honest. That's a good play on their part, I suppose. Maybe there's still play for us? I don't know. I cannot believe they no-shielded that. That is an insane call, but maybe it's more insane that I baited in the first place. Alright, we'll go for the Icy Wind here, because, I mean, after that debuff, we still knock him out, right? Surely there's still some play. Icy Wind gets a shield, so they shield that. They catch? You know what? They deserve this win. I don't even know how. They knew every single thing that I did, but they knew I'd get there on CMP. They knew everything. Okay, well, they got me, I guess. They just... Oh, I don't even know what to say. Alright, next game. We'll see Tentacruel into Shadow Empoleon. Man, don't see that thing too often in this meta, but I do have ways to deal with this. I just don't want to, like, stay in that matchup. I'd rather come in with my Samurott here and try to just get his shield as early as I can, or I guess they catch on an Amoonguss. That's a nice catch. I shouldn't have thrown immediately, but I wanted to try to get his CMP if I could. With that said, Amoonguss is still not the best matchup here for them. And if I get shields down and a lot of energy out of this, then I'm still in a pretty good spot. Well, Icy Wind, they likely no-shield, but I can shield up whatever they throw, and then just go for a farm down. They have to go for Sludge Bomb or Grass Knot to do real damage, but they might Icy Wind, or not Icy Wind, they might bait us with, like, Grass Knot or Foul Play. Foul Play is the bait. I'm, like, misspeaking as much as I can. 7. Okay, well, what are they going to throw here, right? That's the big question. Do they even have Grass Knot, or is it Sludge Bomb? It is Sludge Bomb. Okay. Okay, we'll go for a catch here ourselves. It's a debuffed Sludge Bomb into a Tentacruel. I saved a lot of energy on Samurott as well, and while they do have a lot of energy on the Empoleon, they still need 2 Drill Pecks to knock us out. So I think I can dance around this quite a bit. 5. So they're at back-to-back moves. I think the play is going to be no-shield the first. If they throw instantly, I mean, I guess I probably just sacrifice my Tentacruel either way here, because I can just keep a lot of energy on my Samurott. Whoa. Wait, doesn't Samurott just win CMP against Empoleon? I'm really surprised they let me get this move off. They had a Drill Peck there. They might have miscounted how much energy I had. Okay, that's a good game there. We'll take it. Next game. We'll see Tentacruel into Lantern. Alright. Pretty awkward Pokemon, actually, for this team here, if I'm thinking about it. And I don't have a great response to it, but I might be able to dance around a little bit. Tentacruel at least has a lot of, like, neutral damage I can land here, right? They're at 9, so they have access to a Thunderbolt, but they're actually 1 over a Thunderbolt, too. So when are they going to throw? Let that go. Nice. Okay. They throw energy. Okay, I was trying to go for a catch, but, I mean, it's fine that we didn't get the catch off as long as they throw energy here, right? They Surf us. So they do have another Surf loaded in the backline. Or if they stay in... Okay, well, that's like all of their energy down the drain. I think Lantern is one of the more annoying Pokemon that I could see for my 2 water types, so if this thing does get knocked out at some point, I am pretty happy. Okay, and we see a Seeking come in, which I don't think it really wants to take a Gigaton Hammer despite the resistance. We're just going to full send and see what they do. Yeah, wait, that is a lot of damage. What the heck? 8. Good counting by them. But I think the play for me is honestly just let this go and come in and start building up energy with my Samurott. Because at this point, if I have energy on Samurott, then I can Sacred Sword the Lantern. Okay. They might Icy Wind bait us here, but I can clear my debuff if I need to with my Tentacruel. I really hope, though, that they don't debuff me. That'd be really annoying. Okay, they Drill Run. Nice. So we Fury Cutter down if we can before they switch out. And now I have so much energy here. And I have some energy on my Tentacruel as well, so we'll see what comes in. They bring in a Togekiss, which, being up as much energy as I am, is going to be very helpful. I'm already at 1 Icy Wind. I'm almost at the next. 5. Okay, I think I actually get 3 Icy Winds off before they can get to 2 Aura Spheres. And that's pretty good if that's the case. They do shield that. And I might have caught an Aura Sphere. Or maybe they went for a Psyshock expecting me to shield no matter what. But if I caught an Aura Sphere, that's huge. Oh my goodness. Okay. That's big. Like, I don't think we necessarily needed to do that, but that makes things a lot easier. We can go for the Scald just right now, and try our best to knock out this Lantern before it gets another move off. Just the acid damage is all we need to put them into range where Icy Wind knocks out now. They can never peck us down before I get to a Scald. And, I mean, I got the CMP here, I might as well just shield this up, go for the Scald, and get the knockout. Dude, what a catch. I don't know if we needed that catch, but it makes things so much easier when I don't have to worry about, like, super effective Aura Spheres on Samurott and super effective Psyshocks on Tentacruel. Scald just gets the knockout. I'm kind of proud of that one, honestly. I'm kind of proud of that. And we did 3-2 in that first set, so hopefully this one's going to go, you know, even better. Electrode in the lead. Kind of where I want to see it. Acid damage does add up quite a bit, but depending on what they throw, you know, it could be kind of weird, or if they, like, bank a lot of energy, it could be kind of annoying in the backline as well. 8. Okay, they CMP us. If they, like, CMP a Swift, no-shield the attack, and then go for a Wild Charge, that's, like, the worst-case scenario. Luckily, they CMP'd a Wild Charge, which is probably about as good as we could hope for. They're at 3, so 1 away from a Swift, 2 away from another Wild Charge. It's always straight 5s for those Wild Charges. We do get the shield. 5, alright. I could shield this, but I feel like Samurott is so useless when shields go down. Whereas, like, I can use it now. Oh my goodness, they bait us. Well, that's nice. And we have a Samurott for the Shadow for Alligator here, which is also pretty good. 6. I mean, I survive every move they throw. I wall their moveset. Are they crunching us, or, like, did they just Hydro Cannon? Yeah, okay, so they're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think this Sacred Sword knocks out, actually, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I think I can go just straight up for a farm down after. Like, who would I want to farm down with, actually? Maybe I just let this go, though. Because I am pretty low. If I'm being honest, my Samurott has taken quite a bit of damage. My Tinkaton, though, up energy, I think, could be a little bit of a menace this game. Yeah, let's just get the 3 Fairy Wind lead. They could bring in that Electrode again if they wanted to, but I can just bulldoze them. And I don't know if they want to take that. Tentacruel, okay. I always want to build up energy here to have for that Electrode. They're at 8, so they do have a Scald +1 right now. They could go for maybe like a Scald and try to get a debuff off against us to survive my damage a little bit better. Or maybe they don't. We actually got a debuff, which is huge. I should have thrown before they could debuff us, but I think that's still fine. We'll see. Scald's not a guaranteed debuff. It's only a 30% chance, so they do get it. But I do land this next Bulldoze. And I believe that they're 3 away from their next Scald. I got the debuff. Okay, maybe I shouldn't be complaining. We'll catch the Scald here. Maybe a bad play. Maybe a good play, though. Because now I have a Scald in just a second. They can't really bring in the Electrode, or else it takes so much damage. Okay, we'll see what happens now. Do they go for a shield here, or do they let it go? Because if they shield this, I think I win. If they let it go, then I also think I win. Okay. I just need this thing out of here before it gets a move off into us. And now I need to get to a Bulldoze before the Tentacruel gets to 2 Scalds. I'm 5 away. If they're 4 away from their next Scald, then they can win. They do win CMP against us, right? But I do still have my shield left over. Nice. Let's go. That's all we needed. The Bulldoze will be enough. Honestly, one more Fairy Wind would have done it too. And Electrode could be kind of annoying if I don't make the calls right, but luckily we made the calls right this game. We knock out the Tentacruel, and we get the win. Next game. Tentacruel into Seeking. Okay. You know, it's playable. It's a little bit awkward, but it is playable. Honestly, maybe this time I'm just going to instantly switch, because I don't want to be taking drill runs if I can help it. And I'm going to go for the Sacred Sword before they can go even for like an Icy Wind bait against us. Just getting this thing either chipped down or out of here is going to be massive for my 2 Pokemon weak to drill run in the back. And they let that go. Okay. Okay, these animations are kind of desynced here, but I think we're still going to be in a decent spot where I might be able to stall the switch clock enough to be able to come back in with my Tentacruel at some point. 9. Okay, they do have a lot of energy here, but I mean, I get 2 attacks into them. What do I want to do? Okay, we go for a catch on something. I would imagine they probably went for a Bulldoze there, though, but I would have loved if they didn't. They did Bulldoze, so they're at 6. They're at 1 now. I'm happy they're throwing energy here, if I'm being honest, because Bulldoze is such an inefficient charge attack that it doesn't really do that much. A Drill Run would have knocked us out here anyway, so them wasting the energy is pretty fine by me. I'm going to go for, I think, the shield here. They might Icy Wind debuff us now that they got the 2 Bulldozes against us, but maybe they don't. Oh, they do. That's fine. Ooh, miscount. Oh, that's so bad. Well, that's really bad, actually. That's maybe the worst thing I could have done there. I do have a plan, though. I hate that I just miscounted, though. That's so bad by me. I thought they were 1 away from their next move, but I'm bad at this game sometimes. I'm just going to fully undercharge and go for a Fairy Wind down. I should get 5, so they get knocked out right when they get their move. At least I save a little bit of this situation, especially because there's an Amoonguss in the back. And Amoonguss is not well known for liking to fight against Tinkatons. I resist all of the moves, all the charge attacks that is this thing can throw. Astonish is neutral, but Gigaton Hammer does hit pretty hard. 5, 6, 7, 8. Man, they are building up a lot of energy here. What are they about to throw into us? Probably not going to be anything other than, like, just a Grass Knot or something. 9, so they're 1 away from back-to-back charge attacks right now. They Grass Knot, so they do have the ability to knock us out here. Okay. Is this good? I don't know. We save energy on Tinkaton, which I do think is a good thing. And we force a Grass Knot out of them. But Gigaton Hammer doesn't really knock this out, does it? But if I go for the Gigaton, and then maybe I can force some energy out of them here, then I might still be in a decent spot. Okay, I force him to throw here, and that means I should be able to Fury Cutter down, and as long as I reach a Sacred Sword before they can go for a Bulldoze against me, I should be fine. But my HP is so low, I might even just get Astonished down, which I really hope doesn't happen. But I do get this Sacred Sword off, and I think this is enough damage. I hope it is. It does knock out the Tinkaton. Okay, is the Amoonguss gonna Astonish me down? Oh my goodness! It should have been a tie. Again, I'm gonna complain about one-turn fast moves not allowing for ties. Maybe one day they'll fix that, but that's so sad. With how annoying that was, just not being able to get the tie, that makes me it just makes me so sad. All right, next game. Tentacruel into Wigglytuff. What the heck? Who uses this? I mean, I have 2 hard checks to this. As long as my Samurott avoids it, I'm pretty happy. And they bring in a Tinkaton here, of all things, which, that's crazy to see this as well in the back. The one problem is, it might be Triple Fairy, and that might not give a lot of wiggle room for my Samurott. But we'll see, I guess, what they end up doing. Like, do I want to just bring in my Samurott here, honestly? I don't know. I don't think so. Get a debuff, which, you know, why wouldn't we? Scald is, I guess, just not nerfed. Back in the day, it was like a 50-50 chance. I swear it's like a 30% chance now. Luckily with that debuff, we easily survive a Gigaton Hammer, and we can go for one of our own. Bulldoze would not be quite enough here, unfortunately. But we can Gigaton. We can probably get his shield down, because I bet they want to try to fight for Switch, right, if they can. Oh, they let that go. Well, I mean, Wigglytuff... I was gonna say, Wigglytuff can't really come back in here, but maybe it can if they're crazy. Okay. There actually is a position where my Samurott is not hard countered this game. This is great news. I have a lot of energy here. I can bulldoze this, get the guaranteed debuff. I guess I did get the debuff, nice. And, I mean, I survive a Drill Peck. I don't need to shield this. I just spam out the Sacred Swords. I get the shields down from them. And then my Tentacruel and my Tinkaton should easily just finish off, the rest of that Wigglytuff. Okay, they're at the next Drill Peck now. And luckily, Metal Sound is not a great fast move, right? And it's resisted. Samurott might not be the bulkiest Pokemon out there, but it can survive what they're throwing. CMP, just to guarantee that this is... Oh, well, they didn't CMP. Anyway, we just go for back-to-back moves just to make this as uncomfortable as possible. Because I do have that Bulldoze loaded in the backline, right? Okay, they switch out. That is so fine. Because now it gives me the opportunity to do something I've never done before. And that's called Gigaton Hammer a Wigglytuff. Like, sure, they might get to debuff me. And that would be a little bit sad. But I almost bet this still knocks out. It's a Gigaton Hammer. How would this not knock out? I guess we'll find out. Come on, just destroy it, please. Yeah. That was satisfying enough. Now we have the Bulldoze on CMP. We don't even need our Tentacruel to come back in. That is maybe the first Wigglytuff I've seen in this meta. I can't believe anyone would even run that. Like, what is Wigglytuff really targeting? That's just a crazy Pokemon to bring. Like, you're just asking at that point to get RPS'd. There we go. Get wrecked Empoleon. What a strange team. Okay, next game. We'll see Tentacruel into Tinkaton. Okay. Well, this has been one of the more inconvenient Pokemon, I'd say, for my team to face. So I'm happy to see it here. If I get those guaranteed attack drops that Scald seems to be giving out right now, then honestly, I'm pretty happy here. But as long as I avoid the Bulldoze debuff, that's where I'm really happy. Okay, Bulldoze is going to not debuff me. Nice. Now, I'm not going to ask for the world. I don't necessarily need a Scald debuff. I wouldn't mind it, but really just avoiding that first debuff is what I wanted to see. And we don't debuff. But yeah, I was saying, we don't really need that, right? We two-shot with Scalds, and honestly, this might not be a great Tinkaton, because I've done a lot more damage here than I could have sworn I was doing against other ones. Scald now, get a knockout or a shield. And we'll see if they want to invest shields just to land Bulldozes here this game. No, okay. I'm fine with that going down. Well, what if there's a second one? We'll just bring in our Pokemon that walls the fast move pressure. Okay, well, I mean, we kind of need to debate that out. I think I threw in bad timing there. At least I have an easy way to just go for Icy Winds here. I mean, we didn't really need to debate this out. I have a Gigaton Hammer Tinkaton in the backline. But, like, if I'm being honest, I'd much rather not be in a spot where I have to go for a Gigaton Hammer to do anything. And my Samurott can just be annoying here, right? Fury Cutters might be incredibly resisted. In fact, I'm pretty sure they are. But, like, Icy Winds here are just going to make it so they do no damage to us. And if I ever can, I wouldn't mind just bringing back in my Tentacruel, even just to get some fast move pressure against them. Well, maybe I should just stay in. Yeah, I guess I just barely can't even switch out. But that's fine. Because Tinkaton should be pretty good into the Klefki. Could be on Flash Cannon, I suppose. That's like maybe the scariest thing that could happen. I'm going to shield just in case, because if they have Flash Cannon, I mean, surely they throw it instantly, right? They do have Flash Cannon, good shield. And now I think going for 3 Bulldozes is going to be the play. Because I don't think this Pokemon is bulky enough to really survive the amount of damage I can throw out here, even with pretty weak attacks like Bulldoze. And the debuff on the first is really nice to see. Or... okay. And... they let that go. Wait, why? Wait, are they at a Flash Cannon already? Am I crazy? Or is this just a foul play? Yeah. I don't know why they no-shielded that. I think they kind of had to shield. And now I should just be able to farm everything down this game. Yeah. I mean, they needed to get to back-to-back Auras here plus Psyshock. Fairy Winds obviously do less fast move pressure than Acids would do. Triple Fairy. And yet, Hisui and Samurott, it still found a way. All right, next game. Tentacruel into Grimmsnarl. Pretty good lead, I'd have to say. In fact, my whole team is pretty strong into this, so I am fine with whatever they do here. And we see an Empoleon come in. I think this is a pretty good matchup here for Samurott. Because these Sacred Swords are super effective, right? I outpace them to these charge attacks. And if they end up going for a Drill Peck into me, I should survive. And I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind getting shields down. I know I would survive this Drill Peck here. But I mean, I might as well just guarantee that I make this matchup pretty miserable for them. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm going to double shield. I don't need switch. I don't need it, right? But I can make it so if shields go down, I can just start Gigaton hammering things. Yeah. Sacred Sword. See what they want to do. And at this point, if they do shield this up, then I'd honestly be kind of surprised, but I'd be pretty happy. You shield. So we get another one because of how quick Samurott is. You know, it's only 9 turns to a Sacred Sword. That's the best thing about this Pokemon. Even down energy, it can still try to outpace Pokemon like this. We just get the knockout straight up to him. And now, I mean, Grimmsnarl can come back in. But now it's going to be in a really awkward spot where, like, where does it really want to go this game? And they top left. Before I can, like, even Gigaton hammer things. Let's go. Okay, next game. Tentacruel into Seeking. You know, this lead has been a little bit scary for us, but I'm going to switch out. I don't want to be in a spot here where I get Drill Ran, and it takes so much damage, and I don't do anything with my Tentacruel this game. So I'm just going to switch out and go for a Sacred Sword after a bunch of Fury Cutters. I can get a lot of nice chip damage here. I can dance around this if I need to, and I can make it so Seeking's not going to be able to completely unravel my team. Oh, interesting. Togekiss comes in. I should get a CMP on an Icy Wind, which they probably don't expect, because Samurott here actually has a massive attack stat. They have some energy on that Seeking still, but Icy Wind is super effective. And now, I mean, maybe they can try to undercharge a move here, but if they try to undercharge and they go too far with that, I might even just be able to swap out. Okay, no undercharge. They will get a Psyshock here, but I'll just catch it on Tinkaton, I guess. I can save energy on my other guy, and a debuffed Psyshock doesn't really do all that much damage here. I really wish we could have acided down, though, because now I have to reveal my final Pokemon. And we do take a little bit of chip damage, which kind of puts me into range where a Drill Run would be a little bit scary to take. But I should survive a Drill Run too. I don't know. Do I want to shield this? I'm not going to. I'll let it go. But now they could probably go straight Icy Winds here, which would be maybe uncomfortable. Okay. We'll get Gigaton Hammer, because I feel like they might not expect me to full send such a, you know, expensive attack when maybe a Bulldoze would be enough. Nice, they do let that go. And now, oh, it's a Klefki in the back. So I can just go here for a Bulldoze, and if I get a defense drop, actually I don't think that really matters. It's really just helpful I land this move first, or before getting knocked out, because that does about as much damage as I need to put them to Scald range. And I mean, I do get a debuff, but again, I don't know if that matters as much as just straight up landing the move in the first place. This game could still get a little bit scary, though, because Astonishes plus Foul Plays will add up over time. So if I don't get an attack drop here, then maybe my Tentacruel could get knocked out before I get enough Scalds off. But they just made a big mistake. They are at 100 energy right now. They're at 10 Astonishes, which means that they're going to have to throw either on bad timing or go over 100 energy to throw their moves. No debuff. They actually go over 100 energy. All right. So they're going to be able to, like, one and throw here, which basically means that 2 Astonishes plus a Foul Play needs to be enough to knock us out for them to win this game. And I don't think that will be enough. I think that we survive the non-stab Foul Play, and by the time they get that off, I'll be able to go for my Scald. They're 1 away from their next move, so they have it right now. But yeah, I think we survive this. And we have the Scald ready to go right now. They're completely energy dry after this. There's no way they get another move off. Yeah, nice, let's go. And you know, that Bulldoze debuff, it didn't matter at all, right? I mean, a Scald would have knocked out from like 60% HP. Definitely from 20% it would. Really, an attack drop would have been a little bit nicer to make it a little bit less scary, but, you know, we don't need them here. We got the win either way. Let's see what this opponent's running. Tentacruel into Tinkaton. Okay. A lot of these. Like, honestly, probably the most Tinkatons I've seen this entire rotation of Spring Cup, all today. I guess they just don't want to be weak to Samurott. Luckily, though, for me, Samurott is in the backline. Let's see if we can avoid a debuff. Bulldoze. Debuff us this time. I don't want that debuff. I really don't like it. But, you know, if I get a debuff in return, I am a little bit more happy with how this is going. We'll see. Scald. Okay, okay. It doesn't matter. You know, never punished. They do instantly go for another Bulldoze. Man, these debuffs have been crazy today. Just almost every chance we get, a Bulldoze is, or a debuff's gonna happen. You don't get debuffed there, though, so maybe I'm crazy. And at this point, they are going to be in range where a Sacred Sword could be enough to knock out. I would be surprised to see a no-shield, but I'd be pretty happy if they did that. Oh, they do let it go. You know, I'm so happy that these trainers are just sacrificing that Pokemon. Shadow Gator comes in. And, I mean, I do resist everything this thing can throw into me, but if I'm going to be honest, Shadow Hydro Cannon, you don't simply resist that, right? That still does a lot of damage. So we're going to go for the shield here. And if they're going to stay in, then I can just build up a lot of energy. And I can outpace to Sacred Swords now. They're at 3, so 2 away from the next Hydro Cannon. I can do 3 Fury Cutters and then Sacred Sword. Well, they shield that, so actually what I might do is just overfarm. Because I don't necessarily knock out with that Sacred Sword in the first place. I might as well just keep the energy in case I need to either debuff the final Pokemon or, you know, just like do a lot of damage into them. Okay. That's scary. How bad is this, actually, though? It might not be that bad. We get a shield there. That might actually be pretty playable then. Because we can catch a Seed Bomb. And I bet a Gigaton Hammer is gonna hurt. So that's what we're gonna go for. They're at debuffed Gourgeist. Gigaton Hammer, it doesn't even need a knockout for me to be in a good spot. It just needs to do enough that I can put them into a farm down range now. For either my Tentacruel or my Samurott. They're at the Shadow Ball now. Let us see how much does this do. That damage is just dumb. How does it do that? And I think with the debuff that we got with the Icy Wind, we survived this well enough to get a move off into the Feraligatr too. Alright. Yeah, we just bulldoze this. And at this point, we have a Tentacruel as well as a Samurott still around. They need so much energy here to be able to knock out both. There we go. Okay, that was kind of odd at the end, but easy win. GG's. 5-0. That's why we're running Samurott right there. Very good Pokemon. But, like, also Jellicent, or Tentacruel. Tentacruel's so good as well. And, I mean, Tinkaton's been doing something as well. It's around. It's been putting in work. Honestly, Tentacruel is one of the best Pokemon in this meta. It pairs so well with Tinkaton, and as long as you're not seeing a ground type, this core is pretty strong. And Hisui and Samurott in the backline, as long as you have one, it's one of the best Pokemon, in my opinion, in this format. I think this seems pretty good. Give it a go if you want to. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.